Late Night Cappy, assholeconsulting.com. The cigar lounge I wanted to go to was not open, and that's why I'm in this fancy, ridiculous getup with product. They put product in my hair. I got product. That's why it looks like this. Kind of. God, it's almost as long as used to have when I was younger. All right, I'm not here to talk about my hair. We are here to talk about an anonymous girl, and she would like to become an auto mechanic. Hi, Cappy. Please keep me anonymous. I'm a 23-year-old girl looking to become an auto mechanic, but I don't know the best way to go about it. I've talked to a few people in the field and have gotten different answers. Some say go straight into apprenticeship is the way to go and saves money. Others have told me to go to school is a better option as I will have a stronger foundation, won't be as lost on my first job. At the moment, I have $20,000 in savings. That's awesome, dude. And no debt working as a waitress. I'd really like to keep it that way if at all possible, but also want to be as prepared as I can be for my first mechanic job. I do have some experience working on cars and really enjoy it. I've done brake jobs, put in new shock absorbers and ball joints. I've even swapped the entire rear axle out of a van, so I already have a bit of experience and have obtained some proficiency at reading repair manuals. Where would you suggest I start? Also, let me know if you need more details. Thanks. We'll keep you anonymous. All right. Did I ask you any questions? Would you currently wrench on cars watching YouTube and with your own set of tools? And any interest in becoming a mechanic in the military? What town are you in? Any ASC certified programs offered by any tech schools in your area? Set the payment. I do not currently have my own set of tools. I have several friends who have been allowing me to use their tools in shops. Okay, that right there sounds like you got the best setup. That's your best asset, because nothing's better than experience. Let me go through the rest of your information, but I'll give you my thoughts here. I do have savings to buy some, though, and I am aware that will probably be a requirement. You live in a sizable town, and the local community college offers mechanical classes near me, so finding a school to go to isn't a problem. Though I don't plan on joining the military, I'm not entirely opposed. Also, yes, I do watch a lot of YouTube videos before attempting a project. Thanks for your insight. All right, well, you got a couple options here. Regardless of which route you take, and I'm sure there's different opinions from different mechanics, I was hoping maybe Juan would provide some commentary on this, and then I was going to call my mechanic friend, but he's too busy and too good for me. But here's what I do know, having worked on my own cars, knowing actual mechanics, helping them everything they said. The best thing is going to be experience. And that could be as something as working on your own cars, working on your buddies' cars, working on your shop. And that's why I think you got some buddies in a shop. And if you go volunteer there and get some work, get some experience, that's going to help. Because you can study a diagram in school all day, and your tech schools aren't just going to have you study diagrams, but you're still going to have to tear this apart. You're still going to have to, I don't know, head gasket blown, whatever. Doing that and getting on the ground training is the best. Ideally, what you'd want to do in addition to getting experience is get paid, only because you're making money. But then that will qualify you for taking an ASC certification where you need, what was it? It's 2 years qualified experience. Or, hang on, I'll just look it up. In other words, you could go to a tech school and that qualifies as the 2 years. ASE certification wiki. Automotive service excellence. Booty boop, booty boop, booty boop. Offers tests, automotive. These involve several exams, the pass of which, added with 2 years of relevant hands-on work experience, will merit certification. Now, here's where you go to tech school if you want. The required experience can be substituted by 1 year of on-the-job training and 2-year training degree. So the 1 year on-the-job training and a 2-year and so you're going to need 1 year of on-the-job training and a 2-year training degree. These involve several exams, the pass of which added with 2 years of relevant or one with okay. So and here I'm sure mechanics have different opinions. I have a buddy. What he did is he started wrenching on cars before he was 16, and he could tear them apart, build them back up. And then he went to the local community college here. It's called Dunwoody. So he went to Dunwoody, and I think he had already had plenty of work experience. Now, what is qualified work experience? That's why I say it should probably be paid, not only because you want to be paid for your time, but that we could put it on your resume. No, and the mechanic says, yes, this person was here. She was an employee. And so you could go ahead and bypass going to school if you get 2 years work. But that's going to be full-time work. My buddy who's a mechanic, he still preferred to go to school because they're much more thorough in their testing. And not all shops are alike. I'm not talking in terms of quality, but, for example, I just got back from Utah. All they got is the dually hoodang diggly doondang diggly trucks. That's all they got. So obviously the mechanic shops are more experienced working on trucks. You're not going to get fancy suspension systems. You're not going to get the high-end electronic systems of brand new cars or luxury vehicles. So not that you'd be getting experience going to a 2-year training program, but unless you're at kind of a general area, which you are, I guess. So I guess you'd get in your neck of the woods. I don't want to tell people where you are. In your neck of the woods, you get a diverse type of experience with vehicles. So I don't know. And you don't even need to get the ASC certification. The only reason I recommend you get that is once you get it, whether you go work on your own or whether you're applying for jobs at other auto shops, that's going to be definitely, that's like the CPA, I guess, of the auto mechanic world. You don't really need it. I know plenty of mechanics who are great, who don't have it. One of the best mechanics I know, he races cars and he fixes up cars and he's really good at it. He doesn't have his ASC. And this is another thing you may want to consider. You don't have to go to the training program. Right? And it depends how much money you want to make too. If you want to just become a good mechanic, you could totally do that without going to school, without getting your ASC certification. And if the local shops like you and they pay you and you're making enough money, that's fine. And so what I would do is kind of, get paid, and you're already at the level where you could probably get paid. Like you got some skills there and you could take apart a car. You're probably going to need to borrow somebody's shop and tools. That's the problem though. So what I would do is talk to the guys at the shop and say, hey, can I come in and work on the cars and get qualified experience so that if I either go to school or continue on for 2 years, I could go get my ASC certification. And, maybe if there's a position open, you use that in, don't demand a job or anything like that. If they don't have room for a job, they don't have room for a job. But at minimum, you can help them out and pick up some skills and some trade. I would definitely go online and find out what qualifies experience, because, you could kind of probably have something with those mechanics where it's like, look, you don't have to pay me a lot, but pay me something or whatever it is to get qualified experience. Say, okay, and as long as you're proficient and competent, I can't imagine people turning down, near free labor if you just want to work for the experience. Getting your tools, yeah, that's something you're going to have to do, and a good set of tools, they're pricey. I even know my buddy who works at a very high-end dealership, and he has to use his own tools. So that might be, I know you don't want to part with any of your 20 grand, but that's an investment, dear. And I think if you got a good set of tools, that would be something really good. What I do is I continue working for free with the guys, get more experience, and then see what they recommend for a tool set. And once you get your own tool set, then you get to kind of start making a little bit of money on the side for scratch. That's how I got all my cars. My buddies, one actually was a real mechanic. The other guy he was good with cars. And especially at the age of 23, people your age, because I remember being that age, the cars are cheap and shitty. And a lot of times they didn't work. And I remember, kids who were on campus or young 20-something guys that their dads taught them how to work on vehicles. Oh, they could charge, and simple stuff, like I was a dumbass kid. I didn't know. We didn't have tools. Like, how do we do brake pads? What are you talking about? How do you change the oil? If you're already taking apart axles and ball joints and stuff like that, you should be able to handle, the common things that go, a timing belt, serpentine belt, oil changes. You just having the wisdom. Hey, your tires are bald. You're going to need new tires, and trust me, it's cheaper to get the tires than get a AAA tow and then get the tires. Just some basics. Once you have your own tool set and you got enough experience from the shop with the guys, maybe you go and help out some buddies for a little bit of money here or there. Spread the word around. Now you're making money. I wouldn't give up your waitressing job because that's your bread and butter. But whenever you get to the point where the guys at the mechanic shop are like, hey, she's really good, and then maybe they offer you a job. And now you got some real world working experience, becoming more proficient. And then I don't know, that there's going to be a fork in the road where do you want to go work for somebody else or do you want to work on your own? I don't think you should be able to work on your own until you got several more years experience. So you know exactly what you're doing. Plus there's capital and investment costs involved. I mean, you're going to have to pay for your tools, but then you got to get a shop and pay a mortgage. So maybe just want to be a good old monkey wrench mechanic, and that's fine. And if that's the case, I would go with the ASE certification. So if you're okay and comfortable taking that test with 2 years experience, okay. If you got 1 year experience, you want to go through a 2-year training program, I think that would also be a very wise investment of your money. Look, every other girl out there, I'm like, oh my God, a 23-year-old girl with her head on straight, because you're not talking, I want to help the children and major in fluffy bunny studies. They're like, hey, look at this. She's going to go into STEM, become a mechanic. Look at her. The new Jessie Price. All right. So you're not wasting your money. You're not. And you're already getting your fingers dirty there, putting that stuff together. You seem to like it. So, yeah, I think it's an investment. I think it's a good investment that if you wanted to go to that tech school you were mentioning, make sure they're training you for the ASE to take that. And then with that ASE, not only can you apply for jobs, some of them require you to have that certification. You can, you'll make more money with it. But then also if you ever strike out on your own, you're ASE certified. And then people, it's a badge of honor. It's like the sign of quality. And you gain a little bit more trust. And mechanics have improved, at least this is just my opinion. When I was younger, they'd screw you over, and maybe there wasn't that much certification, or ASE wasn't that common. But now, or maybe the cars are just getting better. I don't know. I've had a lot less trouble with my cars, and mechanics have been pretty straight shooters with me. So I think that would be, you get an unregulated industry, and man, people will fuck you over. They just will. And so this certification, like, okay. So then I'd keep working. The ASE is going to get you more money. You'll pick up a thing or two in training school that maybe isn't taught in the shop. My main concern is, maybe I'm just wrong. Again, I'm not a mechanic, but all these damn electrical systems with start stop, all the fucking nagging Karen bells and whistles, the car won't start if you don't have the seatbelt in. That, you want to make some money here, my dear lady. Actually, you know what? Never mind. If you're interested in making some money, email me, because I have a pretty good business idea that you might be interested in. I'm not going to pursue it because I don't have an interest in it. Well, I do kind of have an interest, but I don't have the time. But you could make bank with this idea. I guess somebody could. But in any case, so let's say you're working $30 an hour, fresh out of school. Hey, that's 60 grand. That's doing pretty good. You're pretty much recession proof, because during recession, I know they postpone repairs, but then the cars do need, they'll take, instead of buying a new car, they'll repair it, so it kind of changes. One thing I will also recommend, kind of along the lines of where, like, if you were out in Utah, I'm going to keep slamming on Utah. I had a great time. It was different. Like, howdy. We're not in Texas, are we? No. Why are you talking like you're in Texas? We're in Utah. Okay. Who dang? Like the areas, become a diesel mechanic, a lot of spots, but more trucks, more farm trucks, and you're going to have different problems, shock replacements, struts, because they're off-roading all the time. But one thing you may want to consider, since you're in a more cosmopolitan area, is if you specialize in a type of vehicle or a brand. So, for example, my buddy works at a high-end luxury car dealership because he specialized in a particular brand. I won't mention what, but we're talking your Infinities, your Lexus, your Range Rovers. God, German cars are fucking complicated. A whole new set of tools with that. If you wish to become a Beamer mechanic. But if you deal with higher end cars, you're not going to. I'll tell you the story, a different one. I got a buddy who just does alignments, and it's miserable because all the taxi cab drivers come in, and it's winter, and there's slop and crap and melting sludge falling out of these wheel wells on my buddy's back of his neck. These cars are in crappy shape. Somali immigrants aren't terribly couth about maintenance. I mean, some of them know, like, oh yeah, you got to do it, but they let a ton of other things go. Although that also is now changing with Uber and Lyft because now people are just driving nicer cars and not Crown Vics. The point is, if you're working in a taxi pool, that's going to suck. But if you got Lexus, usually it's, soccer mom Tilly driving a brand new Lexus in. Nothing's really wrong with it, just very basic maintenance. The shops are a lot nicer and cleaner. I remember going in, I'm like, whoa, this is nice. It's heated as opposed to Joe's garage, which nothing against Joe, but he probably doesn't have a heater and it's cold, although your neck of the woods, it doesn't get that cold down there. But just something to consider where, especially if you go into your own business, do you want to be hunting people down for a $60 brake job because they don't have the money? Or do you want to be dealing with rich people or people who are more commonly faking that they're rich and they just have to have their Infinity fixed? Who will pay anything to make sure that Infinity runs because otherwise they lose face in front of all the other soccer moms. And what will the neighbors think? It's just less problems on the back end if you specialize in kind of a luxury or higher end vehicle. What would be more fun, though, here's another option, though, is you just get into rebuilding classic cars. That'd be freaking tits. That'd be freaking awesome. But again, something for you to consider. But yeah, so I bet hopefully there's some mechanics that have some other opinions. That's just my thoughts. I think the main thing is that you're getting your experience. That is the main thing. So you know what the F you're doing. Then when you go, if you choose to go to community college to train up to your 2-year training degree, you got a degree on your resume too. Please don't be the guy, oh my God, when I went to computer networking school, there was the guy who was like the nerd who knew everything, but he just didn't go to school, so he was getting the certification, and he would like answer all the questions and do everything and like get the teacher on a technicality. Don't be that dick, okay? Even if you have great experience and you're a very good mechanic by that time, don't be that person. Just shut up and go through it, okay? So, because a lot of people aren't at your level probably by that time then. And you're slowing down the class, frankly. That's the main one. It's like, shut up. Yeah, and then, but play it by ear. I mean, maybe you don't need your ASE. Maybe you just get good reputation. Maybe everybody likes you. You're the cool, tomboy chick that everybody likes. But above all else, dear, this is the main thing. You have to do a good job. Don't change stuff because once your reputation is ruined, it's ruined. I'm going through that with plenty of tradesmen and all that, where it's like, okay, never hiring that guy again. And, and that's where I think that ASE thing will come in handy. But also just be a damn good mechanic and make sure you fix it and fix it right. And you don't chintz, no shortcuts, no corners cut. And then you'll have a reputation. And then people are like, yeah, she's great, one of our best mechanics. And that's good. That's good to see you. That you made my nights. Nice to see a gal actually contributing to real GDP and not, I got a government grant to write a thing about a child, the thing. And then we're going to have a celebration with government money to celebrate its release and nobody will buy it. You're actually helping society. Oh my God. So anyway, email me and I'll tell you what my idea is. And so hopefully you guys are all doing well. Any super chats? Oh, one DJ Aftershock. How late you stay up, DJ? Don't get an MBA from a no-name like my cousin's dad. Don't get an MBA from anywhere unless it's an Ivy League or a Chicago or Wharton. And even then, God, I'm so happy I didn't get my MBA. This gal, if she plays her cards right, 23 years old, becomes a mechanic, like certified or whatever, by 25 or 26, she's going to be way ahead of me. Oh, and for God's sake, sweetheart, don't get pregnant. Okay? Wait till you're married, okay? Wait till you can afford it. Don't get fucking... Don't you ruin this. That's all I heard and saw on my hike to Utah. Not only in Utah, but listening to a friend of ours who was talking about a certain cultural group that just can't wait to have kids, but fuck marriage. Wow, we poor! It's not the group you're thinking of. All right, because you guys are racist. Questions, answers, assholeconsulting.com. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.